Good morning, campers. Let's do a reading. We're going to continue with the love readings. And today we're going to do beautiful divine collective. I'm feeling into what's going on in your connection. What's going on? Let's break this down. We're going to start from 3D details, so you know that this is your collective, and then we're going to do energies, your joint energies, your masculine's energy, and maybe some guidance at the end. We'll see. What's going on? What is going on? We want to know what is going on because we're nosy. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm hearing something specific. So in the center of your spread, you have the hourglass, the clock. I was actually hearing lack of patience with this one. I was actually hearing lack of patience. We have love at the bottom of the deck. So maybe you are recently finding yourself losing a bit of your patience. I was hearing as well a little bit of pressure, especially that we have hammer as your first card, your first energy, so insisting, and we have wedding rings, which is higher commitment, union, marriage. So what I was hearing with these three first is that maybe you've recently been finding yourself feeling that it's been a long time, that a long time has passed, that you have been patient for a very long time, that it's been maybe a long separation and a long journey, and you've been recently finding yourself in a state of losing that patience. To be honest, surrendering into the patience, into the unknown of what is planned for us, is one of the biggest challenges that the divine feminine has to do on this journey. And I love highlighting to you guys the patience from a perspective of that it's not just about patience, right? So what I'm hearing is, so maybe this is the perspective that you need to sort of adapt. When we talk about patience in terms of how long our separation is going to be, side note, it's going to take as much as it's going to take, right? So it's as well us and our work and our effort and our transformation and divine timing as well. But we oftentimes look at it as a period of time that we need to wait, as if it was some sort of a punishment, as if it was some sort of and it's nothing more than part of the journey. It's nothing more than preparation. And it teaches the divine feminine 3 key things that she needs to master. One being trust, full trust and surrender to the unknown, to the divine, to things that I have no tangible proof of, things that I have, right? We're talking about really full trust in your love. A man that oftentimes has not reached out to you, spoke to you, you know nothing of him for years on end, yet every day you wake up and you trust that this is the man for you, that this is the other half of your soul, that there's a meaning in that path, right? So there's full trust. Because we are the bridge between the worlds. If you don't trust in the divine, if you don't trust in your downloads, if you don't trust in your intuition, what kind of an oracle are you going to be for this world? You have to trust. You have to embody the trust. If you received a download, and we usually do downloads of our highest, most abundant timeline that we usually tap into in the beginning of this journey, it's part of your path. Just trust, release, surrender, do your part. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that separation teaches us deep compassion and release of judgment. Because of that urgency, because of that impatience, it's easy to look at our masculine and say, why is he not ready yet? Well, oh my God, why is it taking so long? What is he doing, right? But it's the complete lack of judgment. If you say that you love this man, if you say that you desire this man from a level of a soul, it's your soul's desire, how can you be judging him? How long is he taking on his healing journey? It will take as long as it will take, just as it took for you, right? It's a spiral. And sometimes we get confused because our human mind wants to look at it in a linear way. But as ourselves, sometimes even moments before before union, we revisit on a very deep level certain wounds, certain, right? It's not linear. It's not thing that will come after another. We address, and I highlight this to you guys often, some feminines, right? I always say that there are 3 categories that we need to conquer in this journey: our healing, our own healing of the soul, our path, our mission, and healing of the connection. Some feminines do that sort of a one by one. Some feminines completely forget about healing of the connection, and then they sort of a revisit after years in separation when they're already sitting in their strength, right? Some feminines do it all simultaneously. It's a very individual path and very individual journey how we approach it. There is no linearity in it, right? So you cannot judge your masculine. How long is he taking? How, right? So that's the second thing. And then the third thing, in order to have a true divine union, when you talk about divine love and true divine counterparts, we always have our individual mission for this world. But for all of us, we are here to remind people what love really is, what love really means, what is divine union that anyone can achieve with a soulmate, divine feminine, divine masculine energy. We're equals, but we're very different. We have different roles. And role of the feminine is what I already mentioned, full trust as an oracle to this world, but it's also full trust and submission in the physical to your masculine, to the guidance of your masculine. We provide him with guidance and insights that come from spirit, that come from God, that come from source, but the decisions that he's taking in the physical world, we have to trust it. If he is not here, it means that in the physical, consciously or subconsciously, he's taking a decision that there's something else for him to happen first, to do first, right? So you have to trust him. It will never work if he doesn't come to you, return to you in his wholeness, in his masculinity, and also trusting that this is where he wants to be and choosing that this is where he wants to be. So quite of a deviation for first, but I was hearing it clearly. So if this is your reading, you would be dealing with impatience. Maybe you've even had, we're going to clarify, some moments when you wanted to push things. Maybe he reached out, maybe he checked in after a while and you started sort of a pressuring. Again, I don't want to jump into conclusions. We'll tap into more details. But I was hearing that sometimes it happens, when we're ready for union, when the masculine returns, he breaks no contact, the feminine should embody the energy of complete surrender, complete peace, so he reaches out and you won't be the one to push, to pressure. You just are in your state of receptivity. Whatever he's willing to offer, I will accept that if it's something that is a divine offer, obviously. But if you start to feel the pressure as he comes in, as he returns, as he breaks no contact, so you start to pressure to see each other, to start a relationship because I've been waiting so long, and it ain't divine feminine energy. Again, you're putting yourself back in the masculine energy. It's the masculine energy, the how, the when, how, right? You're pushing. And there's your fourth card is not today. I don't think it's time yet. So perhaps you had some sort of a test. We have mask, that's your last card. So maybe there is still some work to be done when we talk about fully embracing your authentic self, fully standing in your truth. Maybe there is still some sort of a conditioning. Well, again, urgency, wanting now because I've been waiting so long. These are all things of the ego. This is not something that's coming from your soul, right? Let's confirm. Hammer. We have beginning. So maybe, you know what I was hearing? I was hearing that maybe you said a bit of an ultimatum to the universe, in the sense of, if this is not happening, if I want commitment, I want something, I want, right? If this is not happening, I want a new beginning, I want to start over. Universe doesn't like ultimatums, okay? Many feminines fall into that trap at certain points, saying that I'm not going to wait anymore till next February, and if it doesn't happen, I'm going to find myself a soulmate. Then go and find yourself a soulmate. Don't waste my time. Don't waste universe's time. This journey is a pro journey. It's for the strongest warriors. It's for the strongest feminines and for the strongest masculines. What can I tell you, right? It ain't no game for toddlers. If you don't want to wait, what are you bargaining here? You know, it's not about waiting. And it's also a misconception. Patience is not about waiting. Patience is about alignment. We're not waiting for our divine masculine. We're just living our lives. Living our lives. True divine feminine who's already created the energy of union through the power of creatrix. It's something that you have to do first on the level of 5D. We just live our life as if he was already here. We're not waiting for anything. We're already living a fulfillment, living our mission, focusing on your path, focusing on your growth, focusing on giving back. As long as you are in the mindset of I'll do this, but I want it, right? And it's funny because, you know, sometimes we can have those little agreements, right, with the universe. And I always say, and I love highlighting this to you guys, that intention of whatever we do changes the whole aspect of that thing, right? So if you're coming from a place of love, your intention is pure, your intention is more playful, more joyful. It's a completely different mindset than when you're coming from a place of fear and from a place of aggression, from a place of impatience, right? So if you want to, you know, do a little bet with the universe in the sense of, you know, if he comes back by, you know, whatever, in a very playful way, I will offer you this. That's absolutely fine, but you have to do it in a playful way. You have to detach yourself. It's not a demand made on universe. It's a little game. Universe loves games because in reality, this whole life is a playful game. What we lose in this program is a childlike joy, and we come here to thrive. But it must be coming from a place of love, and there's an offering, right? We're not talking here about if I cannot be in union by that time and I want a soulmate, so if not that, I want different things. Or how will you offer something for the humanity, for people, for a sacrifice? It just came to my mind, so maybe you need a different perspective. I'm feeling like a bit of a slap from your guides. Sometimes we need that. All right, we have blowing kiss. We have old school, outdated thinking, conditioning. Yeah, so there's something that's in the center of your spread. There's something in your mindset that is falling. Perhaps it is because we're sitting in that literally, I mean, shedding has ended. We are in a waiting room, right? But maybe there are still certain conditioning and certain limiting beliefs that you really need to release. But I feel like you are not in the brightest and the most divine mindset. There's something that activated that urgency within you. Maybe it is, you know, I was looking at that balloon. Maybe it is the fact that it's February, Valentine's Day. It's, you know, I love it. I love it. And I highlight this always. People who love, only when they are happily, you know, in love and in a relationship, they don't really love, right? They love what they have. Someone who loves love is who loves love always. So even if you feel heartbroken, even if you feel like you're alone, you look at other people that are in love and you don't feel jealousy, you feel happiness because you want everyone to love, because you love, because you become love. This is the role of the divine feminine. So if you choose, it's a very beautiful period of time that really carries a lot of love energy. But if you are not, again, getting what you want, it may be quite triggering. And I was looking, and I was, what was coming to my mind? I'm hearing that um, it may be that you share some moment that it's also either someone's birthday or an anniversary that also falls around the date of Valentine's Day, and it made you think, or maybe you recently attended a wedding, or that was a trigger that you saw a couple, sharing love. um, and it kind of triggered you that I want that too. If it's not with that man, well, it's a choice. You either choose a divine path, life of purpose, life of a mission, or you choose a human life where you want to be in love and have a family. We have free will. How many times do I highlight to you guys that this story, the twin flame journey, is not a love story. It's not about love. Love is incredibly beautiful, fulfilling, incredible, out of this world byproduct, but we get it because we don't obsessively want it. We start to embody it, embody the frequency of love. We release the demands. But there's no shame, it's we choose. If you feel that you're tired of this journey, that you've been waiting so long, it happens. This is why I highlight to you guys, when you ask me, is union given? Union is not given. When we decide as souls to incarnate in a lifetime where we will be activated to the twin flame journey, our highest, most abundant timeline for this lifetime is always union with our counterpart, always. But not everybody gets there. With that attitude, impatience, demands, coming from a place of ego, this is not what this journey is about. Family, and she's pregnant, so maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you are at a certain age, that you want to have a family, that you want to have a child, and you feel like, we're on the clock here, I'm hearing. I have been a little bit harsh with you, but again, don't blame the messenger. I'm just a channel. But it may be that, when it comes down to it, this is coming from a place of ego as well. And I know it's very difficult, but again, this is a pro journey. So we talk about things, if it's truly a collective, if you're truly on a divine journey, we're fully awakened people. This is, again, a pro, right? Masterclass of life. So I don't need to filter myself. But I sometimes highlight to you guys that a soul has no need to have a child, unless it's a karmic contract that is calling that child onto this world. But soul understands that the relationships we have through blood, through parent, sibling, right? These are things of the ego. Your child is not necessarily even your family, your soul family. It may be your most horrible karmic. So the desire to be a mother, it's nothing wrong with it, of course, but it's not the desire of the soul. It's the desire of the ego. And it is true that in some twin flame pairings, especially the third wavers, that their mission is more focused to actually build the new earth. They will have that desire because they will be programmed to have children and to have families. But ultimately, whether we end up having a child or not, it's in hands of the divine. It's not our decision. It's going back to those most difficult things that a true divine feminine on this journey has to conquer. We have to fully surrender to the will of the divine. Be in a full trust, not come from a place, I want a child or I don't want a child. I want a family or I don't want a family. You should reach a place when you're able to say, I will not settle for anything that is below my highest, most abundant timeline. And whether child is on, it's in hands of the divine. It's in hands of God. You really think there's something that is impossible for the universe? However many years you have, if you're meant to be a mother with your divine counterpart, you will be. That soul, whether it's through your own body or someone else's portal, will find its way to you. But it may be an issue, because we have, let's do one more. We have wedding rings, love. I feel like you are finding yourself, it may be that we are in this waiting room. And again, like I said, union is not given. It's something that we have to choose. We have to choose from a place. I don't really care how long is it going to take. I don't care how it's going to happen. I don't care when it's going to happen. I will not cave. I will not give up. I will not settle. This is what I want. And I trust that universe knows that and will orchestrate situation where it will be brought to me, to us, when the time is right. But sometimes we have as well those desires of, of our ego, of our existence, of our human, and it may be a moment of a choice for you. Are you ready for that life of service? This is a life of service. This is a life of service. We receive downloads, we receive that internal push to do something, whether you are in union or not. The divine guides your life, your career, your mission, and you have to follow that guidance. It's a challenging life, but a very fulfilling life. So maybe you are, standing in front of a choice. Do I want to fully surrender to that path no matter what's going to happen? Or do I want to have a family, get married, experience that love, teddy bear, a romance? It's paired with that mask. This is why I want to do a few more, because maybe I divine masculine at the bottom of the deck. We have soulmates, we have passion, and we have the golden mirror. I feel you are being tempted with love. So either you met someone, or you've recently, it may depend, you've met someone, or you've recently been just surrounded by a lot of people who are in love, who are starting their journey together, very passionate relationships, soulmate relationships. You're seeing the beauty of it, how beautiful it is to have someone by your side, to have someone to have family with, to have romance, to spend Valentine's Day, to travel, I'm hearing as well. But it's an illusion. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? True divine feminine. If you were to choose, if we're given a choice, okay? Gate number 1, you're going to move through that gate and you're going to find your highest, most aligned, your higher soulmate, right? So the one a little bit below your divine masculine, but your soulmate, someone that you're going to love, and you're going to have passion and relationship, and you're going to live this life doing everything that you love, you travels or abundance, fascinating adventures and gorgeous life, children, whatever is it that you dream of, right? And gate number 2, you're going to live in Antarctica in a bunker with your divine. What do you think that the true divine feminine chooses? It's not about what we're going to have. The whole point of this journey is to release everything physical, everything that your masculine can give to you in the form of, a specific house or child or family, right? It's not about that. It's about his essence. It's about his energy. It's about the fact that we're one. I feel you are being tested. Maybe you yourself even don't realize that. And this is why I always say there's a lot of nonsense about the journey. And sometimes if you work with a spiritual teacher who's still ego-based, or you listen to ridiculous advice online, and people start saying to you that you deserve da-da-da. Life is not about what we deserve. It's an ego-based mentality of humans that they say to themselves. Life is about what we need, what our soul needed, what our soul decided to go through to grow. It's not about demands. There's a reason we were talking about demands. There's a layer of ego that you haven't broken through because you think that you deserve to want those beautiful things, love, give it to yourself. True divine feminine is a master alchemist, okay? Why do you want a child? Ask yourself that. Why do you want a child? What feelings do you want to feel towards that child? What feelings that child will cause within you? Why do you want it? Because it's just a bottom line, we have few emotions. Right? Alchemize that emotion through something else. Because if it's purely your child seeing your gene pool in another small human being, don't tell me it's something that the soul wants. And if it's any child, you can care for any child. You can work with children. You can give love to children that don't have love. That's not an advice that I would give to anyone. But like I said, this is a program, okay? This is a masterclass of life. We're walking Christ consciousness here. Ask yourself why. What do you really want? And in the end, if you decide that you want a husband and a child and, a soulmate, it's your choice. There's absolutely no shame in it. It is your life to live. You're free. You're free to choose. You're free. In this specific journey, the feminine chooses for two, but whatever you choose, we lead the way, right? So that's the only thing that I mentioned to you guys. And I believe I've mentioned this in the past to this collective, but all right. Challenging reading that we're going to have today, but let's roll with it. Let's tap into your joint energies, the energies of your connection. I want to do to really feel into. Maybe there's something going on that you're feeling this way. Hold on. That's interesting because we have Four of Wands. That's interesting. Maybe you're both thinking about these things. Maybe you both want it. Maybe you both want love, family, and things are not happening. Okay, all right. We have Justice in the center of your spread. We have Four of Wands in the beginning as an opening card. This is union. This is celebration. This is divine marriage. I feel that when we talk about your collective energies, the energies of the two of you, what the two of you want, you would both be, remember, I highlight this to you guys always, no matter where we are, no matter how many kilometers and time zones separate us, he could be on a freaking Mars, okay? We're telepathically connected, always, through red threads, always, because without physical body, we are one consciousness, we are one chakra system, we are one oversoul, right? Sovereign beings as we incarnate, but one. So we're always connected. This is how telepathy works. Again, we've talked about this so many times on this channel. It's not that I hear what you think, it's that I think the same thing, because we're one consciousness, okay? So if you're thinking about these things, I feel that he is sitting as well in this moment of, damn, I want love, I want relationship. Maybe he misses you as well. maybe he desires and thinks about desiring that union as well. But there is